tell us a little bit about your excitement about having Tom Brady there, but maybe some of those pieces that have been overlooked, because Tampa's got a good thing going.
I got to try to honor that the best way I can, because she did so much for me in my life, and it was so much that I want to do for her.
I am Ben Newman, and this week on The Burn, I felt it appropriate to circle back with one of my favorite episodes from last season, Lavonte David, who's getting ready to play in this year's Super Bowl. And in this conversation, we talk about vision, belief, what it takes to get the job done day after day after day. And we actually talk about the opportunity to play in the game that 54, the captain of the Buccaneers defense, is now going to get the opportunity to play in. It's a special episode. It's going to connect with you on the importance of you driving your vision and your very best and your connection to your burn every day. So with no further ado, let's revisit this conversation with Lavonte David. What has fueled you throughout your life, and then maybe how that burn changed for you when your mom did pass 4 years ago?
Yeah, well, basically fueled me throughout my life with just the ambition to be great. You know, just wanted to do whatever I do, just wanted to be great. And all the time I had my mom and my dad always there, you know, encouraging me and pushing me to do the best I can be, and whatever it was I put my mind to, they was there behind me and they pushed me. And, you know, they instilled that discipline into me to where, you know, wherever I set myself on my mind on something, you know, I got to be disciplined enough to not go off course and not, you know, try to do something to, you know, mess up my goals. And, you know, that's basically what they instilled in me, and I definitely appreciate them to this day. And, you know, like you said, not until, you know, 4 years ago when I actually lost my mom, me and you really, you know, kind of hit it off. And to this day, you know, I still look at the messages that you send me every morning. They motivate me. And then especially on game days when I always remember that last thing you always say, you know, legacy, carry on your mom's legacy. And I take that to heart every time. And, you know, her last name was David. We have the same last name. And I got to know every time I walk out the door, I carry her last name. So I got to be able to, you know, represent it the right way. Every time I wake up in the morning, I walk out my door, before I actually leave the house, it's a picture, and like right before I get to the door of her, where I kiss it and, you know, just thank God, and I just remember her before I walk out the door to know that I'm wearing her last name. And I gotta try to honor that the best way I can, because she did so much for me in my life, and it was so much that I want to do for her. So even though she's not here, I'm still doing what I can for her, because, you know, she raised me the right way, and it's a lot of stuff that I have to accomplish off the simple fact what, you know, she put me in the position to do.
Well, you know, I know that your mom is looking down on you, and our mothers are up there having a nice little party, and on game days they're watching you make all those tackles, and you know, a lot of people they don't realize what it takes to get that C on your chest.
Yes. And
I think a lot of people take that for granted. And everybody knows on the show, man, we don't get a lot into statistics, but there's just one thing I have to mention, because it is very important. I mean, you've played 8 seasons. You're heading into your 9th. You went over 1,000 tackles already in your career. Yeah. I mean, you are one of the premier linebackers in all of the NFL, and you've been doing it year after year after year after year after year. I mean, it's like every year. Right. And what I really love for you to speak to, and you already mentioned it with your mom, I always talk about the importance of environment. So you've created an environment where, like, you're kissing your mom on the way out the door to, like, remember what's important. So how important has environment been, not just for the mental side, like to remember your mom like that, but what are some of the things on the physical side, some of those disciplines that have put you in position to be this successful for this long at a position for a lot of guys, man, it wears down the body. Yeah.
I mean, you know, from the environmental side, you know, it's just having the right people around me, you know, people like, you know, you and people like Will Compton, who I talk to, you know, most of the time, and then kind of encourage each other. And then, you know, friends who I grew up with, you know, kind of separating those friends to where, you know, ones who want to push you and motivate you, and the ones who, just want, hang out and want to have fun and do certain things. And that's just, having, separating that type of environment, for people who, don't sometimes might not have the same dreams, may not have the same goals as you. It's not that you don't have to be friends with them, but most of the time, some of the stuff that you're involved in, you may not want to involve them in it because it may hold you back. But, just, the off the field stuff, just, eating right, just doing what you've done, trying to have a healthy life, a healthy spiritual life, and just have a healthy relationship with great people around you, so it won't hold you back and prevent you from wanting to do what you want to do. And basically just having a certain edge about yourself, just like I said, being disciplined and knowing what you want to accomplish at whatever it is that you want to do, and just going out there and basically taking it, because it's right there. Basically, it's right there. All you gotta do is just go take it. So that's basically my mindset every time I step out the door, and not try to veer off and do things that I know my mom wouldn't be proud of, or the people who's counting on me, the people who's looking up to me won't be proud of. So that's the type of discipline things that I think about every time I walk out the door, and the type of environment that I want to keep myself around.
What are some of the things that you've done now just to keep yourself motivated, to keep yourself focused? Because I've found that it's the guys like you, they recognize, like, man, there's an edge and distance that you create, because the guys like you are the ones willing to keep working when other guys are like, man, I'm going to take a break. Like, this is not a time for a break, is it?
It's not a time for a break at all. It's actually the best time to get the most work in as you can, because, I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to my 9th year. You got some young guys coming to this league, coming to take over, that come basically following our footsteps and kind of like lead the path that we laid. This is the players before us did. So, you got to be disciplined. It all comes down to discipline. Again, discipline of the workout, keep on your workout regimen, and, trying to understand, what's going on. But, it all could be over. What's going on in the world, it all could be over. Just like it could be over soon. So you got to be able to, soon that's what we got to be able to, carry over what you've been doing and getting back to your regular day life. And that's, for me, and this is getting ready to play football, being ready to prepare to play a football game. So that's basically my attitude right now. I got to be in great enough shape for myself to be able to know that I can walk out on the field and be able to play full 4 quarters the way I know how to play it.
That's such a great point. Be able to play the full 4 quarters right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about that mindset is huge. You mentioned the word discipline.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that blew me away. So that first ride where we really spent all that time together, we talked about social media.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe, like, you practically, like, during the season, you almost completely turn it off. And you talk about the world we live in today, to shut down your social media. Like, why do you do that? And what's the importance of that? And kind of what's your philosophy? Because there's so much noise out there these days.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much noise out there. And then social media, they don't make it no better. Just playing football is going to be a lot of naysayers, a lot of doubters, and a lot of things that, you may not like. A lot of people say some stuff that you may not like. But, it's social media. They got that right to say that. So what I do is I just block it out, because people going to say stuff regardless. So I just block it out and then go out there and perform on the football field to basically shut them up. I'm just basically just proving myself right. Just going out there dominating and doing the best that I can to help my team win. And that's all I can do, So try to be the best leader I can be, try to be the best football player I can be, and try to dominate this game as long as I'm in it. And at the end of the day, I want to be one of the best players to ever play the game. When I walk away, I want people to talk about me in a positive manner, to know that every time I stepped out on the field, I did what I did. And then also when I'm off the field, I was a great leader, and I held people accountable, and people held me accountable. And I, just did whatever I could to represent the name on my back. When they say people like, Lavonte David, he was one of the greatest to play, but also he was one of the greatest, teammates of all time too as well. So, that's just the stuff that I, think about, things like that. But, social media is on its own demon in itself, and I don't like to be involved in it, I mean, during the season and stuff like that, because, you know, you can kind of get sidetracked by that. You could, you know, somebody could say something about you. You could be thinking about that, and it can kind of get you off your game, you know. So try not to, you know, be involved in it as much. But same time, like I said, people gonna talk. They gonna talk, you know. So it's just all you got to just do your part to shut them up, and that's what I fight for all the time, you know.
Which, and I'll tell you, you've been doing it year after year after year.
Yeah.
You got a lot of teammates with a lot of talent. And so let's talk about a little change that took place on the roster. Right. But I want to give some credit, you know, because obviously I pay attention, you know, every week locking in on what's going on with you and the team every Sunday. But I think, yes, Tom Brady's coming to Tampa, you know, and TB and TB, and it's going to be a special thing. But I don't know if there's been enough credit given to the special pieces you guys already had. No doubt it's going to be great to have Tom Brady there. But maybe tell us a little bit about your excitement about having Tom Brady there, but maybe some of those pieces that have been overlooked, because Tampa's got a good thing going.
Yeah, man. Honestly, since I came to Tampa, man, it's been team after team we had awesome pieces in place to, you know, get us to where we wanted to go. You know, we had the Jeremy McCoys, we had the Corn Alexanders, we had the Michael Bennett's, we had the Darrell Reeveses, we had the Sean Golsons, we had the who else? We had Vincent Jacksons, we had the Mike Williams. We had a whole bunch of talent coming in and out of Tampa. You know, T.J. Ward, we had Major Wright. We had a whole bunch of guys that come in and out of Tampa, but it just never got there. We just never got there. But for some reason, you know, I never felt the much confidence that I felt, you know, in the season that I had in a long time, because, you know, all the bad things that went on the year before last year, 2019 season, we was actually a pretty good team. You know, we ended up going 7-9, but a lot of stuff early in the season that kind of set us back. And then in the middle, or, you know, the second half of the season, with everything picked up and we was rolling. But, you know, we knew that we could be a type of team that can get over the hump. And now this year, we already, you know, honestly, before, you know, TB came in Tampa, we already had the mindset of like, this is going to be our year, this is going to be it. And then, voila, you know, this guy already pops up and he's on our radar and he's looking to come to Tampa. And, you know, that's even more better, especially a guy like him with his attitude and his, you know, his mindset and his winning pedigree, you know, and with the hunger of the guys in the locker room, you know, that's definitely going to, put us where we need to be, and basically try to exceed our expectations already.
So you just mentioned the excitement of Tom Brady coming. He's arguably certainly the greatest quarterback of all time, maybe the greatest player of all time. You also mentioned some other Hall of Fame talent that you've played with. Mm-hmm. One of the things I love about you is you are humble, so I'm going to say it for you. You are going to be a Hall of Famer. But here's what I got to bring up. We got to just talk about real quick, the greatest player that you ever played with. It's got to be Will Compton, right? I mean, hands down, it's got to be.
Compton, my boy.
Right?
Compton, man. It's basically a dream of ours right now to get the chance to play each other in the league, man. Play with each other in the league. You know, me and Compton played together at Nebraska. Had fun times there, great times. He was my roommate when we was on away games. And me and Compton got a lot of stories, as you know already. You know, that's my boy, man. He definitely goes down as one of the greatest players I played with, for sure.
Well, you knew I had to get that in there because we both love him to death. And, you know, I think that's the beautiful thing about life and relationships. You know, if it wasn't for Will and both of us going and giving back to those kids at his camp, which is so cool that he continues to do that, man, we would have met somewhere along the line. But it's just, I can't tell you, man, I appreciate all the times, whether it's the phone or whether it's in person. It continues to impress me just how you go about doing what you do in your life. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking this time to share your burn, your fire, your passion, the disciplines. And, man, you know I'm always in your corner.
And as you know, man, I'm always here. You know, always, you know how much I respect you, man, how much I respect your dedication, you know, your fire that you give me, you know, just just the messages and the voicemails you leave me on game days, that gets me going. That's a part of, my burn.
Hey, I never talk about that stuff, so you're giving people the secrets now.
Oh, my bad. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you, man.
I'm going to be leaving you those messages again. And, man, thanks for taking the time. And I love you, and I can't wait to see you.
Most definitely, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. 54 going to be on the field soon.
Thank you for joining us for this special episode of The Burn, the Super Bowl edition with my guy, Lavonte David. After working together for 8 years, I cannot wait for the opportunity to get down to Tampa to watch him get in between those white lines to fight for 60 minutes. Stay connected to your burn. Stay connected to what drives you, your vision, and the daily disciplines for you to attack at your highest level. Make sure that you get our download for your prize fighter day, the free course. It's in the description for you to take it to your next level. Subscribe to the show, and don't forget, stay connected to your burn and keep attacking one day at a time.